So I think we're live. I think. Do do do. Something's wrong. Hold on. All right. While I try to figure this out, let's actually launch into the world real quick here. Mm, everything goes wrong at the last second here, so. Okay. I think everything's good on this end. Okay. All right. Are we loaded into the world here? All right. Where am I at? What am I doing? Man, it has been a minute. So, why am I live streaming at currently like 1:33 CST AM? Well, I really just wanted to kind of do some stuff on a stream. It has been a long time, a month, and I just kind of want to talk about what's been happening while we do some stuff in the background here. So, I moved. I don't live where I used to. I bought a house and I now have a lot to kind of get done. And that happened around the time that I stopped posting videos, around, I believe it was November 13th, I think, is when like they were basically saying, "Hey, you're buying this house, right?" And I was like, "Okay." Um so yeah, that's basically what happened. And yeah, I bought a house and kind of got everything set up to move. Um, and, that it happened all at once. And since then, I really haven't had time to sit down and record or sit down and um, my headphones are like weird sounding. Let me turn them on and off real quick here. But yeah, it's just been sudden, you know. And I really didn't expect to be moving out so soon, kind of thing. Like I was expecting to be a little while longer, but no, we got the house. I changed out all the outlets in the house, or well, 90% of them on the top floor, and just took a while to get that done. And it was immediately like after work. I didn't have time to sit down and record. I will be trying to get episodes out, but in the lieu of that, I will be live streaming occasionally, not all the time. And this will be kind of like episodes where I really won't be doing too much with advancing. I would say it'd be kind of dealing with stuff that we have kind of just laying around. Right now, I kind of want to get the kind of like area cleared out. That's what I've kind of been working on before I, uh, ended up a month ago after the quarry, which is still running, I think. I don't even know. I haven't looked at this in a minute. Nope, we also got to be careful because it's dark out here. Lots of cobblestone. But yeah, like I just it's been a minute. That's for sure. I really have to kind of catch up per se because I really haven't looked at anything either in a while. So just got to catch up. Got to kind of look around, make sure everything's still going. Let me let's see here. I'm just trying to make sure everything's still going smoothly here. I don't fully have everything set up properly, I don't think. All right. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to work on. I want to get a new base set up. I like this, but it's absolutely hideous. I won't deny it. It's absolutely hideous. Um, but I don't want to move out of this area for say. I kind of want to get everything kind of moved over to a new location and go from there. I know we need to get to the point of having what is it called? Get to the point of having. Oh man, I'm spacing. I'm spacing. I do this a lot, by the way. I space a lot. Uh, there's a lot of cuts in my videos. It's because I space, and I don't mean to. It's just I do. I also may or may not have been streaming over on Twitch, which I do occasionally. Um, I kind of been testing out it, making sure my internet's actually decent enough to actually stream. So I don't even know. I don't know if how the quality of this is either. Let me see. Nope, that's the wrong video. What am I looking at here? Do 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 do. Okay. Oh, and my headphones are dying. One thing after another here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of the world. All right, get back to doing this here. I'm actually going to close this out. There we go. But yeah, just kind of, chill a little bit here. So I want to get the base moved. That's for sure. I want to kind of start getting that. I know we need to get better tools. I know we need to start working towards Project E. like kind of final end game and all of that stuff. So it's kind of what we're doing this episode, or well, this kind of like half episode. I always do like 8.5 or zero point 0.5 on episodes where I'm like doing a live stream. That's going to be a common thing. So, hmm. Like I don't really 100% know what to talk about. That's something I've always had problems with is like coming up with things to discuss. I mean, because it's kind of obvious what I'm doing. There's no explaining what I'm doing. I'm taking out a little hill. So I think I want to talk about the channel. What are we doing with the channel, right? Because I've been gone a month, and of course every time I take a hiatus, the channel drops, right? There's less views, there's less interactions, blah 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 blah, right? It goes on and on and on and on. I don't really care that much about it. I do this for fun. I post videos on here for fun. They're never meant to be making money. Maybe one day, right? Like I don't see that as, not being a possibility, right? Making a few bucks here and there. I don't really care. I have a full-time job. This isn't a full-time job. Maybe in the future, whatever. It might happen. But the thing is I'm never going to stop doing this, right? I want to, basically be the person who plays Minecraft. And yes, it's difficult, right? Um, I'm not gonna be like Direwolf 20 and post every single day, right? There's sometimes where he misses, very very rarely, but he misses sometimes, and I have to be honest and say that Minecraft isn't always the greatest. I guess it's kind of hard to describe what I mean. It's not always something that I can play all the time. There's burnout, right? Um, and that's happened a lot. I will be honest. It's like the last few packs, right? The Direwolf 20 pack, 1.18. I genuinely just I got to the point of being burnt out. And I think the problem is doing videos daily, right? Because having a full-time job, having the whole thing of not being able to sit down for 8 hours a day and making videos or editing videos or anything like that, because I can't. I genuinely cannot. What I want to, yes, I would want to do something like that, but I just can't make that time because I have like 3 or 4 hours after work to before I go to bed, right? Like yeah, I could get a few things done, right? I could make an episode or two, but spending time with family and stuff like that, it's not a plausible thing, right? You just can't make that happen whenever there is no monetary value, there's no, nothing like that, right? And I'm not saying, hey, I'm not going to do this because money's not involved, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I legitimately cannot make time when all I have is work and then family, right? Like, I don't want to sacrifice time with family to do this, right? Because it's not, I can't say, hey, I'm going to go work on this hobby, right? I need to spend time with family. Well, I love doing this hobby, and that's what this is, right? That's what I would classify this as. Um, it can't always take priority. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it can take priority over, family and friends and stuff like that, but not always, right? And I think that's kind of hard to, you know, hard to take into account sometimes, right? It's a weird situation. The whole I bought a house. You know, it's and I make update videos every once in a while, and this time I didn't. I didn't have time. This time it was legitimately, hey, you're doing this here and now. You're not able to take a second. You're just going to have to full force this, computer disassemble, get everything over to this new house, get out of the old situation kind of situation. So it's kind of a weird thing. It really, really is. And I'm grateful for this opportunity of having a new house, but a lot of things were thrown on the back burner, and this was one of them. You know, did I want to throw this on the back burner? Absolutely not. This is something that I genuinely enjoy. It's kind of a de-stressful time. You know, it's something I can kind of look at as, hey, this is something that puts my mind at ease, knowing that at least I can do something right. You know, I mean that's kind of sad, ain't it? But it is true a lot of the times, and sometimes I do mess up in this. Sometimes I make mistakes, and I have people correct me. And this just got real sad real quick. Sorry about that, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of occasionally that is the situation. I have knowledge in this, and I love building things and making things and creating contraptions, and that's why I love technology and the tech mods in this. I love being able to build and see things function. Maybe that's why I don't like magic mods as much, is because I can't put a contraption together with magic mods. I mean, like Botania, but it's a tech mod that's just disguised as magic. I mean, it's just something I love to be able to do and say, hey, I did this in this game. I was able to think of the solution. And I mean, maybe it's simple. Maybe it's an ore doubling machine, or maybe it's a AMC machine that produces this much per hour kind of thing. Like I don't really care about statistics. I did it, like I created it. So what if I had to look up a guide or anything like that? It's the fact that I did it, right? All right, so we got a decent area cleared here. I think I want to kind of get rid of this. I don't know what kind of house to build. Honestly, that's still something I'm not great at, is building. I still haven't got there yet. Hmm. I mean, we got plenty of space here. Plenty of torches. Could we light up some area over here as well? I think I'm out of torches, aren't I? I got any in here? No. Okay. That's fine. But yeah, like, and this is something else. I don't genuinely have time to talk to anybody. Um, on this side of YouTube, right? Like, a lot of it is just purely talk about Minecraft or talk about future plans for the channel or stuff like that. But I don't get to sit down and talk about what's happening in my life, what's happening in general, right? Like, that's something I don't get to do, and I don't do. I want to start doing, and that's kind of something I want to do with these live streams, is actually be able to take some time and talk about, things and stuff. Maybe not like how I'm feeling or, touchy subjects of that nature, but being able to, sit down for a while, right? How's this going? And this is voiding cobblestone, but it's not voiding it fast enough, I don't think. That's alright. We'll take some, throw it in the chest. Actually, I think we'll use some. Bed. There it is. Okay. But yeah, I think for the future of this channel, it's gonna kind of always be a 1 to 3 videos a week. I think from now on, whether that be 2 mod packs, whether it be 1 mod pack. I know Direwolf 20's mod pack just came out for 1.19, and while I want to play it, honestly, I don't know. like it's a genuine thing where I don't know if I want to touch it, right? I mean, they get views, right? That's, but do I want to look at it that way? Like that's my thing. Do I want to look at it the way of, hey, this could get me a lot of views, or do I want to look at it the way of, hey, this isn't really something I enjoy, you know? And maybe I will enjoy it, right? Like there's always some enjoyment with Direwolf 20's packs. It's just after a while they're the same. They're rinse and repeat. You got create, there you go. You know, you got create, you got Ars Nova, and a few other things, and it's just like that's to me not the greatest, but you can't expect, you know, these massive revelations of new mods because honestly, the modding community's dying in a sense, like to in my personal opinion, because people just don't want to keep having to do these massive updates to their mods every single, you know, month or so, or 2 months or 3 months. And I've been watching a lot of people genuinely saying, "Hey, do you guys actually even want me to do this? Like, do you want me to update this?" It's like I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't want to update this because it's just taking too much time. But it's happening, you know. I mean, since 1.19.3 came out, people are kind of wondering, do I even want to do this? And you can see the state of the modding community at that point, right? Like there is this lack of want, not lack of need, just lack of want from these people, and I mean, it's kind of sad. In all honesty, it's just, you know, getting to that point, right? And I don't know. All right, how are we doing this? I was thinking this. Let's get away from the sad subjects. And speaking of updating, I will be updating my mods, which are very few, right? Like I don't really have a whole lot of mods because I don't have time, and also I'm just not really great at it. In all honesty, like there's a lot of things that I could be doing better and trying to figure this out, but there's not really a great resource, I'd have to say, for learning new things about Minecraft modding. I mean, you got people who are like, here's how to build a mod, but it doesn't help whenever you're trying to do something specific, I guess. And the bad thing is, a lot of the mods that I want to make take a lot of time, and of course, guess what I don't have a lot of? Let's do 16. I think I don't know how I want to do this, but I don't want to do it that way. I do want to have this kind of idea of having two doors. I like that. Just so we can kind of exit between, or like from each side. That makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I like this. And I want to have the invisible player, you know, door thing. Come on. What do we got over here? Glowstone being made? Everything's fine down here. I don't think there's enough need for this much power. Yeah, 'cause they all got, a lot of them have plenty of this. There's the EMC machine. I'd love to scale that EMC machine up by like tenfold. You know, like make it absolutely insane. Nope, that's not what I wanted. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oak wood. Let's actually just go. Kind of just generic. I don't know. I'm not really great at building. I know chisels in this mod pack, by the way. We could probably look at doing some more stuff with that in the future. But I know. For now, I'm just going to make it simple. We'll change it up later. I just don't like that. Alright, so I think... Is that center? No, it's definitely not center. I don't have... Yeah, see, because I have my chisel here. I guess we could go steal some wood real quick from over here. I guess I got wood planks, nothing else. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 maybe? And then you just kind of have this 4, or you'd have a solid wall. And honestly, um, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know how much longer this mod pack will actually be. I'll be playing this one. I There's a lot to do. I won't lie. There is with Tekkit and all of that with IC2 Classic and all of that jazz. But my biggest problem with this mod pack is it feels old, but it feels new, right? Like that's a big thing. And I don't know. It's something strange, right? But I'm going to be right back here in a second. I'm going to pause the game so we don't, lose any time or anything. But yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty. Sorry about that. So, we're working on the house here. So, I'm not sure if this is going to be like the final design. I mean, this will work for now. Let's see here. Kind of do kind of a crappy. I think I was gonna do like this and then do, yeah, just a flat top roof. And of course, we don't have like builder's wands or anything like that in here. We don't have building gadgets even, do we? Nothing. Also, somebody did mention that the electric motor, uh, this thing? No. There's like an electric something or other that can actually produce power to power the quarry. I mean, we could literally just do a flux generator. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to use Buildcraft to power the Buildcraft quarry. But there is stuff from IC2 that can actually power the quarry if we really wanted to do it that way. Come on, go inside. But I think that one of my like biggest problem with this pack is the fact that it's like you could be using refined storage, or you could be using like the simple storage networks or something of that nature to kind of give it a modern feel, but instead it's kind of just a generic storage system, iron chest like back in the day, which just means it's going to take more time. In all honesty, it doesn't really mean anything else other than it's going to take more time. Yeah, you can. I did forget about logistical pipes being in here. But I mean, like, I think the biggest thing that I'm kind of thinking is like the instantaneous part. Because I mean, like refined storage, it's all in there. I mean, we most likely will touch on logistical pipes and doing systems like that. And I know Buildcraft has like the automatic, like the auto crafting tables. I'm pretty sure there's a few other auto crafting things. You've got Project Red expansion, um, and then of course the auto workbench, which I mean, of course, Buildcraft's auto workbench crafting table thing really isn't the greatest either. I mean, what do you expect, kind of thing. There's a lot of things like that in this pack where it's kind of like you've got to figure out the balance, but also you have to get resources. I think that's the biggest holdoff for me is I don't have enough resources to fully get to that point. I also just could, stop wasting time and actually get stuff done. But, that's too easy. See, the I think my biggest thing is I haven't been able to come up with the time to do that. I've been working on one for a long while, just never legitimately have time. Um, but it happens. I am enjoying this pack. There's just some things where it's like you could have done this, you could have done that to make the pack better, but you also have to realize that this pack could have been made a long time ago, I guess you could say, because 1.12.2 has been out a while, but then again, Buildcraft wasn't ported for a long time. Buildcraft has been in a stage of not being ported for a long time. And I think it's the same with IC2. I mean, that only really recently came out, like in the last year or so, even though 1.12 is old, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of weird. And I think the bad thing is nowadays, a lot of the mods that were used in like 1.7 are actually gone. The older packs, they're actually just starting to disappear. They don't work like they used to, which is kind of sad, but I don't know. The more recent versions of Minecraft honestly just kind of irritate me anymore as well. So I mean, like I do not like the way that Mojang, Microsoft Mojang, are going with Minecraft anymore. I've kind of lost interest in the newer versions. I haven't played vanilla in a long time. In all honesty, like I don't find it fun anymore like I used to. There's so many minor things that you have to keep up with. Yeah, it's a challenge, right? Like I mean, this game's changing. It's the kind of original concept is keeping things updated and fresh. And I've gotten older. That's the other thing. Yeah. I like I don't think I dislike vanilla. It's the fact that there's so much stuff. But then again, I'm playing modded Minecraft, and it's just like, here's all this stuff that you'll probably never touch. But it's like, one day it's 1.18.2, the next it's 1.19.2, and it's like you've got all these minor gameplay changes and all this stuff that change core mechanics of the game, and it's just like, what? I mean, that's where I come from, right? Like I've gotten older. I'm used to the old style. I'm used to back in the day whenever we could just spam our swords and it happens. Nostalgia is a real killer of this game. There's been people that have played this. I mean, what Direwolf 20? He's been playing this since this game came out, and he used to be real good with Redstone. You look at him now. It's like it's crazy. Yeah, I the problem with building for me personally, because this looks like crap. I don't really care at this point, but this looks worse. And my problem with building is there's too many options, so I always just go with the same thing over and over again because I want to play it safe and I don't ever branch out. I tried doing that in my last Direwolf 20 mod pack playthrough, and I like to do that, but goodness gracious, does it take time? And I don't have a lot of time to do building. Like I genuinely just want to build things like actual structures and contraptions, and I don't want to spend time doing that. Yeah, I didn't play the beta. I think I started in 1 dot which one was it? 1.3, I believe. Like I started right as the 1.4.6 kind of like witches and all of that stuff started coming out. But that was back in the day though when modding was at its peak. I mean, legitimately you had witchery, you had is it witchery? I think it's called witchery. That was like B team, you had all of these like new upcoming mods that were just absolutely fantastic and fresh. But nowadays it's like here's a tech mod. You kind of got the same machines. Eh, yeah, it's weird, right? Like you see all this stuff, and the mods just kind of stay the same through the versions. That's something I've noticed. Yeah, I like that's what I played. I just made a whole bunch of stone rods, whatever. I played Tekkit back in the day, and that's why I really was wanting to play this. Honestly, is because I was like, oh, I really want to enjoy this. But then again, though, there have been versions of this, not official versions of this, where people have basically recreated Tekkit from the ground up, and they're genuinely good. I just never really I stopped caring about Tekkit after a while just because there were so many new things and you didn't have to worry about um, kind of repeat mods, I guess, kind of similar. I don't know how to put it really, because I mean, I'm not saying that the mods were bad. I'm just saying that they were similar nowadays, and that's kind of not fun. I don't know. It's I'm not trying to be harsh, not trying to be like complainy. It's just we kind of went through that phase of like everything is new, everything is awesome, and then you kind of hit the phase where it's everything's kind of the same. There's nothing new, and you know, yeah, like like one of my things is it's like playing the original Tekkit, and coming in here and trying to drag stuff. No, no, you can't. It threw me off. Yeah. Well, it's like, and that's the thing though, is you see the old school stuff and you're like, how in the world did they do this back in the day? Because like goodness gracious, a lot of the like equivalent exchange to buildcraft, industrial craft, back when there wasn't forge energy, it's like, what in the world? How long did it take for these people to do it? And you wonder why people like Pyamar, or what is his name? Pyamar? It starts with a P. You wonder why these people stepped away. I mean, there's no support for it. Really, like modding is one of the things that Minecraft is just like, it exists. We'll kind of give them support, but not a lot. Yeah, Pyamar, yeah, that guy. But yeah, like I loved playing Tekkit. I loved playing on servers and genuinely having a good time. And it's just nowadays you don't have that same kind of like server atmosphere even. Oh, what in the world is that? Sensor lens? That looks fancy. See, and it's like that's a weird thing about this. It's like it's supposed to be a kind of a recreation of Tekkit, and then they just threw Galactic Craft in here for some reason. Um, I don't know. I mean, like you kind of get used to it, the newer versions. But honestly, I kind of am in the middle of the road in a sense. I loved Ender.io, all the conduit system, thermal ducts, all that stuff back in the day. Like that was kind of like peak Minecraft modding in my opinion, where it was just tech mods were different, they were unique, you could distinguish upon them. And then there was also the mixture of compatibility. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's everybody has their life. Things happen and then all of a sudden you've got nobody. It's I mean, it's kind of sad to say it that way, but I've had a lot of, people where I play with them. We start things and then all of a sudden they're gone. You start something and then you're just alone. That it really does sound sad, but that's what happens. I mean, people move on. Time time's not anybody's friend in all honesty, and that's oh yeah, Thaumcraft. So the thing is though, his Ender.io isn't technically dead. People are still trying to port that. Thaumcraft still trying to be ported to the new versions. Thermal ducts, they're all still trying to be ported. But the people who do this stuff aren't paid in a sense. I mean, yes, there's monetization for CurseForge and Mod Labyrinth and all of those, but it's not a full time job. You're not guaranteed, money. Yeah, and it's like Buildcraft. I mean, they're all there, but then again, though, you're not seeing new mods. You don't have that atmosphere of the new Ender.io coming out. Whenever that came out, it was awesome. It was awesome to see like this new upcoming developing mod. And the ways it changed and the ways thermal has changed and reminiscent, right? the times when things were new. Yeah, and it's like I have mods, and then 1.19.3 came out, and I'm like, honestly, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna update to that crap. Figure out what it takes. But I don't know, honestly. Like, I mean, I legitimately don't have time to develop new mods and actually create complicated things because there's no real documentation to develop things for Minecraft Forge, because it's all loosely based off of this and that. And yeah, I'm excited for Thaumcraft when it comes out. Yeah, it does. I mean, I've done that a lot of times. I went back and I played PlayStation 2 games thinking, man, these were the best back in the day. But in reality, it was just like, yeah, because you were sitting down with family and friends and playing these games together on a couch, and it's not the same. You can't go in by yourself, right? Like, I've experienced that plenty of times. I mean, I've legitimately went out and hunted for PlayStation 2 games that aren't common, just because I remember sitting down playing these games for hours upon hours and then being disappointed because I don't remember it being this bad. Or, I don't remember it being lonely, I guess, in a sense. And it's nostalgia is something else. But then again, though, there are people in Minecraft's community, a very small niche community, where they are still developing mods and different add-ons to the original beta versions, like 1.7 back in the day. Like the beta, I think there's like Mango Pack, there's quite a few different developing ones that have added modern features to beta, but also keeping a lot of the beta for like features. Yeah, like it's it's a weird thing where, like, this game. I mean, this looks like crap, in all honesty. I mean, it's cubic, it's voxel, but compared to modern games, this is not something you would scream and say, "Hey, this is a modern game." If you saw this 10, 20 years later and you thought, "Man, this looks like crap," compared to, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 14, like whatever. This game doesn't matter about graphics, but whenever we go back and look at PlayStation 2 games where we thought, "Man, these were fantastic," and then you play them and it's just like, what what was my 12-year-old brain on, or what kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's see here. What was I doing for a second? I was looking for a block. I miss a lot of things. As I grow older, it's just like, why didn't I take more time to appreciate things? And that's the thing with YouTube. Posting Tekkit too is, a lot of the times I don't like posting any mod pack. I don't take time to appreciate the actual experience, right? The actual concept, the time it takes to create something like this, right? Yeah, like they have improved what I think. Yeah, they went from one rendering engine to another one, right? Well, I don't even know what version that was, but they went from some version to or some, I can't remember. I know they went from another rendering engine. It's like, you don't think about that, you know, like a modern, you don't think about how they've improved the rendering of this game to support all of the features they've added. And I mean, that's, that's why updates take so long. And it's because they're not just improving or adding new things, they're improving old things and making things run smoother, because you can't just keep throwing stuff on top of a game and saying work. I really just I don't remember which rendering engine they switched to. I really wish I could remember. I think they were originally on like Open GUI. I don't think that sounds right. I don't remember which version that was even. Here, hold on. Let me light this up real quick and I'll look this up. Let's see. Yeah, so they had OpenGL, I think. Like something like that. I think that's what I was thinking. So Bedrock is running off of Render Dragon, but I don't know which. Yeah, like I thought they changed something. I don't know. I know they like the thing is they've always been changing things that we can't see, and that's I mean that's good, right? Like you want to keep optimized, but it's like from 1.12 to future versions, it becomes like absolutely unstable. I know 1.15 like there were some major issues. It's like servers and stuff couldn't actually move forward because of that, you know, you know, drop in performance. It's a weird thing, but yeah, like drops in performance is just not something to deal with. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm just kind of burned out on versions of Minecraft where it's just like, hey, here's a new mob. Hey, here's this, here's that. And it's just like, why don't you actually improve things sometimes? Like, I mean, vertical slabs, that should be in the game by now. Or, things like that. Because, I mean, it's been, what, Quark added it? But it's just like that should be something that's added into the game by default, because at the end of the day, you know how useful that is. Actually, think of builders, think of people. Yeah, like I don't like Bedrock, and it's not for the reason that it's a kind of different version of Minecraft. I think it's more because of how monetized and scummy it is. I guess is the way I want to put it, because it has been that way for a long time now, and it's just gotten worse over the years. Like, cause I've played the original the Windows 10 version back when it first came out. Like I covered that, back when it was in beta, and I liked it. It was Pocket Edition on here, and it was a lot smoother, and a lot of older computers can run it. But it's just become a crap fest because of all the monetization and the servers. It's a joke. It legitimately is just a joke about the servers. As long as they're making money, though, they don't care. That's the other thing. Got to ruin it with money. It makes me kind of think that, yeah. Well, it's like I wonder where Minecraft would be if we didn't have Microsoft involved, right? I wonder where it would be at. Maybe not so monetized. I mean, who knows, right? We'll never know at the end of the day. But it is something that always just makes me curious. It seems like they had the idea of, hey, Java has these servers. Java makes a lot of money off the servers. Maybe we can do something like that. And that's kind of what it makes me think of. I mean, that may not be true, right? Like, but it makes me think of that as a possibility. See, like I wish um there is on Twitter, I don't remember their name, but there is a person who created Project Red, the original Project Red. I think their name is Elaran or Elaram. They are actually building a from the ground up version of I don't really want to say a clone because it's a lot more than that because they built it from the ground up. They're building a game where it is basically like Minecraft. Yeah, like they are building their own Minecraft. Um I don't know too much about it. I know they have like a storage system and stuff just built into the game. I know they were working on a modding API last time I looked. Yeah, and they have been making it for the last few years, and it looks genuinely awesome. Like they're working on a modding API, they are, working on engine fixes and stuff, and they are doing this solo, like purely solo. Maybe not the art, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but it is absolutely awesome to see the progress that this person has been making over the years and the fact that it's most likely going to come out some point. I'm down to move from Minecraft to this game. Like maybe it won't be the greatest, right? But they are somebody that came from the modding community of Minecraft and built a game like Minecraft for people that actually wanted to mod a game. Yeah, but the thing is though, is that since it is solo, it is gonna take a lot longer because they are a lot more ambitious than making a simple version of Minecraft kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm excited. They are on Twitter. They post every once in a while. Something to look at. Yeah, but I mean, it's like Village Story. That's a game that it's been around for a while. But I don't think it's like public on Steam or anything. I don't think. So it's kind of like there's a few games out there that are niche, kind of like Minecraft, but are different enough to make themselves known, but they just, they're there. Yeah, like, but Minecraft will always be more popular and mostly vanilla, right? Like, nobody really thinks about modded when they talk about Minecraft in a sense. It's weird, right? But I am just hoping that it'll come out at some point. I don't really care. I'll pay $50 for the dang thing. I'm I genuinely have faith that this person is making something worthwhile, and if they, if they release it, they release it. If they don't, oh well. Yeah, I there and the thing is though is it's we live in a society, right, where there is a lot of games out there that are genuinely good that are just not talked about at all. You know, it's interesting, right? Like I did I Oh, you know why? It's because I placed the door the wrong way. I forgot because if I put them that way, it won't work. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Puts and like this simple as can be, player plates. This actually has been something I've been wanting for a long time, and I completely forgot about because I love being able to open and close doors without mobs opening them. See, I think I've heard of that. Let me look real quick. So it's like I always hear of things in passing and then never. Yeah, because it has the Switch version. Yeah, and it looks like you got Cubone front and center, right? Yeah. But it's like the thing is though, and this what kills a lot of games is people will be like, oh, but this just looks like Pokemon. Oh, this just looks like Minecraft. Oh, this just and this and this and this. And it's just like maybe stop comparing things because it ruins games. You know, people will be like, oh, it's just a crappier version. But you know, genuinely, you could probably have a lot more fun on something like this. Yeah, and it's like I don't like that mindset of I could just not because honestly, Pokemon I don't really care for it anymore. I used to love Pokemon, and it's not nostalgia. It's the fact that it's just a money grab anymore. Like it is genuinely yeah. I the grade and quality of Pokemon in the last however many years has been so sad. Like I remember being like, you know, playing Blue and Fire Red and back in the day, and it's like those are so much fun. But Pokemon's just crap. I mean, people that love it, good on them. You enjoy it. But I just don't find anything enjoyable about Pokemon anymore. The Pokemon Sword and Shield. I bought Sword, I think. And this is the bad thing. Is the tutorial was so long that I legitimately stopped playing the game about an hour in and didn't touch it for about a year. Like that is how crap I thought the game was. And I beat it. I played it after a year and but it's just I didn't enjoy it. Like not a single bit because it was too easy. I'll have to look into this though. But it's like I love looking at projects where you could see people genuinely love what they have made. And that's something that hasn't happened for a lot of games in a long time. You know, it's like I don't think a lot of games you could say genuinely are a good experience. I mean, yeah, you could find some enjoyment, but like could you fully enjoy every aspect of a game anymore? Yeah, like I I think the problem with Pokemon is they still shoot for children. The audience. They still shoot for the target audience of children. They don't shoot children. Let me clarify. They have that audience of, hey, kids will love this. Who cares about adults? But where was your target audience back when this game first released? You know, it's like there's a lot of adults that still genuinely enjoy Pokemon, but there's no game for these adults that is Pokemon, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of things. It's like um TV shows. It's like they rebooted kids TV show and it's just like but people want to watch these new things, but they want a more adult version. They want to see people get massacred. Yeah, and it's like I don't think for Pokemon there's a good story that I've had in a long time. I mean, like they're kind of generic. They really are. All of them are. But it's just like I think I would genuinely enjoy, not playing Pokemon stories for the story. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a big thing. Is a lot of people are trying to cash in on kids, whether that be, you know, illegal or not. They just don't really care about the adult audience in a sense. Like that's what I think a lot of the times is there's not a lot of this, hey, let's build something for this adult audience. It's more, hey, let's build this for kids. I mean, you could say like Modern Warfare 2's for kid or for adults. You could say a lot of TV shows nowadays are, but it's just like, but where's the games that, are simple? Where's simple games? I don't know. There's a lot of things like that where it's just like, why? Why not? Like, why not just build something simple for people? As I'd love to sit down, for a few hours and just play a game that's simple. Like, I mean, Minecraft, right? Like, that's simple. But then again, though, they haven't built this game for adults. I mean, I guess you could say it kind of is, but their main focus is children. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't get the gaming industry, but then I do, you know. I mean, you've got companies that are legitimately out there for pennies, for every penny they can scrounge. Um and I mean, I think Minecraft really isn't one of them when it comes to Java Edition. I think they just want to keep things fresh. They want people to keep playing. But Bedrock, that's a whole other story, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what went wrong with Bedrock because I love the idea of having this like cross compatible um, version, right? Like I think that's awesome. Being able to play on the phone and play on with somebody that's on a console. Yeah. Well, and it's like you see a lot of games nowadays where they can't stay open anymore. Like they have to shut the servers off because they can't afford it. And it's just like, but you never hear the games. You can't, you know, you can't sustain when you barely hear of the games. I don't know. There's a lot of things out there that just don't make much sense. It's like it's a weird analogy, but it makes sense. It's like political parties. There's some people that hate, Republicans, some people that hate Democrats. There's people that hate both. But then again, though, their vote for independent or whatever other party doesn't really matter because you got these two massive corporations, two massive political parties that overshadow everything. It's a really weird analogy, but it works. Yeah. Well, it's like oh, what is it? The when Nintendo did the like Mario 64 and all of that crap, but they made it a timed exclusive. Well, not really a timed exclusive, but a limited exclusive where you could only get it for a certain amount of time. It's like that doesn't make any sense. That was just a money grab. It's a weird. That was a weird one. I will not lie. That was a weird thing to do. But I mean, you've basically got an emulator machine now, which is the Steam Deck. It's basically a Nintendo Switch on crack. I mean, but it's one of the things that I absolutely love seeing is people that reverse engineer servers for old games and somehow manage to get them up and running. The Steam Deck is weird. I will not lie. It's a weird but lovely thing because it has brought a lot more accessibility to games, right? There's people that don't want to sit down and play on a computer. There's people that don't want to go buy a computer to just sit down all day, you know? Because I mean, what? You could go on a walk, ride a train, you can play whatever. It's an awesome concept. It really is. I think, and that's the thing. Nintendo's always been like that, where they've had a really good idea, which is, being able to genuinely carry around these games like the DS and the Game Boy and all this stuff. And it's nobody else does it until now. Yeah, and it's just like you got to have that one person that's genuinely wanting to do it. And that's the bad thing. And it's the gaming industry is just one of those things that makes no sense because there's plenty of things where people are like, "Hey, I would buy that and I would spend every penny in my bank account for it." But then they just never make the game. Like no company goes out of their way and makes this product that people would just spend hours on. Like SOCOM, there's still genuinely thousands and thousands of people that would go out, buy a new SOCOM, and just play the ever living crap out of it. Now, I'm not one of those people, but it's just kind of an example. All right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I mean, SOCOM's just like an example. There's a lot of games like that. Because, like, I mean, like the games I was talking about for PlayStation 2, it's if you went back and you remastered quite a lot of PlayStation 2 games, people would be there for it. Yeah. And that's the bad thing is a lot of games do that. Modern Warfare 2 is one of them. They try to go in with that market of, hey, we want to please everybody, and it's a awful idea. It really genuinely is just an awful idea to try to please every single person. Because what I think season two or season one and a half, whatever, they are making the Rocket League mode. It's just like, why? Why in the world would you make this? It makes no sense. Nobody asked for it, but they're trying to please everybody. Yeah, and it's like I just wish they would make games that people would like. Like I mean, if your first person shooter, if your studio makes that and is really good at it, make a game like SOCOM. You know, if you're really good at making action RPGs, make a game like Skyrim or the thousands of RPGs that were made for the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1, all those different consoles. Find what people loved because there's communities that will genuinely tell you what they loved and just make something similar. Not like bare bones it, but just make something similar that people could say, "Hey, wow, this reminds me of this game." Is it that hard? It's like, GoldenEye 007. People still play that game to this day and it's just like make a new one. And I know there's people actually making a kind of GoldenEye 007 kind of style. It's just you've got these niche communities that come together and make something. I mean, there's a lot of money in a lot of different genres. That's all I'm getting at. A lot of things a lot of people could do, a lot of it. But then you got companies like Activision that literally are sitting on a gold mine and they refuse to do anything that actually anybody enjoys. I mean, there's people that enjoy Modern Warfare too, but good lord. Yeah. And I mean that's your risk. And I mean nostalgia is one of the biggest things, right? Because at the end of the day people say they want it. People, they want to dive back into it and all of a sudden they're like, not really. Yeah, I kind of lied. Yeah, but I mean, like people like, I mean, if SOCOM, had a remaster and they just kind of kept the old mechanics. I mean, like SWAT 4, that game's been modded to the stars, but people still play it. I guess that's kind of like Minecraft in the end, right? You've got massive modding communities, but it's just that niche group of people. But then again, though, Minecraft also has like a group of the whole cracked and hacking, all that crap. So I mean, there's a lot of sides of Minecraft. There's a lot of sides of every game that's got a modding community. Oh man, I do really hope that 1.20 is actually just more improvements to the game, but they're probably just going to throw more content at the wall. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about 1.20 and whatever they're gonna do. I mean, I don't. Did they add camels in 1.19.3? What did they add? Hold on, I gotta look at this. What did 1.19.3 actually add? All right, so I'm looking at this. Okay, so they added new skins, new wood sounds, some experimental features. So they've changed up the creative tabs. They added the operators item tab. They changed light levels for wither skeletons, endermen, and skeletons in the nether. Hmm. Yeah, well, that desync bug's been there for a long time now, hasn't it? I mean, ever since the Elytra came in. The wild update music has been changed or tweaked to be slightly less loud. Hmm. I mean, there isn't a lot of stuff. There's technical changes, creative tab changes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've changed. They've basically made improvements. Uh, they didn't add a whole lot of stuff. Things that really should have been in the game for a long time, like the operators tab. So now you have access to command blocks and all of that stuff. I mean, that's fine. Having access to command blocks, that's yeah. I mean, any kind of improvement. The operators tab probably should have been a thing since command blocks were enabled, like put in the game. Yeah, they are into 1.20. I don't know. It's just there's no excitement for updates anymore for me because it's just like, they're just gonna add this, they're gonna add that. You expect a new mob, you know. Kind of just like a somber kind of crap, ain't it? Just how I am, you know. I don't. I genuinely want to be excited. I do, but there's not just anything that I would say I'm excited for. I mean, camels, cool, but eh. I still haven't really liked alpacas or llamas or whatever they're called. Are they llamas or alpacas? I really genuinely don't remember. Yeah, and it's like a lot of my videos that I've posted in the past. I I on November 13th of this year, I legitimately stopped posting because I bought a house, and it's just like that immediately threw everything off. You know, it's like life hits all of a sudden and everything's on the back burner. Yeah. I mean, that's been seeing that's something that's kind of strange. Is like D&D didn't used to be so popular, so mainstream, I guess you could say, but now it's just everywhere. It's kind of a strange thing, ain't it? That way, I mean, it was kind of something that people always kind of like, "Hey, you're kind of strange for playing that." Now it's everybody does it. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I genuinely just never. I mean, it's not that I don't like D&D. It's the fact that I just never had anybody to play it with it, play it. I mean, nowadays it probably wouldn't be too hard to find that, you know. But yeah, well, and it's just like there's plenty of horror stories around all that as well. You know, people do it for reasons that they probably shouldn't, and yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably better actually being able to, create your own worlds and stuff. And there's a lot of tools out there too. But I don't know, I'll always have some resentment for D&D just because I had a project in college and basically the group kind of just bailed. But we were trying to make a D&D character creator in UWP, Universal Windows Platform in C Sharp. And man, the amount of times I just had to look through the player guide. Oh, good lord. And I didn't have the DM's guide or anything like that. It was only the player's guide. Oh, that was a nightmare. Hey, I still passed that class. That's all I got. Uh, it's been a very long while. Let's be honest. Um, I went to school for computer science, and I don't have a job in computer science because I could not legitimately find a company to hire me. So I work in a factory. It's a very bad fall off, but I I don't have time to mess with projects or do anything like that. I mean, I've made Minesweeper from C Sharp using UWP, and I mess around with Java. I ain't really great at any of it anymore. Kind of lost touch with it. Yeah, and that's a good thing nowadays is you don't need a degree. My idea was kind of like get out of the state that I currently live in for a little while, like my hometown, and experience a little bit. And I experienced not that much, but it was still it was still different. I went to college for 3 years, got a degree, got the degree, didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything. Went back to my hometown. 7 months after I graduated, I couldn't get a job, so I just went to a factory that I used to work at, and then now I'm here. It's uh, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, you kind of only have yourself to blame, which is true. I definitely could have put more work into it, but then again, everything I do doesn't feel like an accomplishment, so it's kind of hard to really do anything for myself. It just kind of laying out some facts about me, right? But yeah, it's difficult, and the college never really. Yeah, it's like my major was really like web design and development. I really didn't learn a lot of website design and development in college. Like, and that wasn't genuinely my fault. That was the college kind of saying, hey, here's this kind of crappy degree path that we really won't teach you a whole lot. And then COVID hit, and then everything kind of went to crap. Yeah. And it's just like once you step out of messing with React or Angular or Vue or any of those things, you kind of just lose touch. And I mean, like, my college was kind of like, hey, we're just gonna kind of give you the bare bones, and you just gotta kind of figure it out yourself. Which, I mean, yeah, it's a good approach occasionally, but they were kind of like, here's a little bit of React, here's a little bit of Angular, here's a little bit of Angular JS for no real reason, and then it didn't really do much for me. And it's like I try to make side projects and stuff and keep portfolio, whatever. But it's just like doing anything for myself is difficult. Yeah. And it's I think the only thing that really sucks about going to college and thinking, hey, this is the best path for yourself or for me or whatever, is that I really didn't get that much experience, much knowledge, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, it's kind of built to say, hey, if you don't try, if you don't do this or do that to improve yourself, then you're kind of just screwing yourself over. I mean, that's how colleges are built, genuinely built. And it sucks to be that knowledgeable at the end, but not enough knowledge to actually do anything for yourself. I guess is kind of what I would think. So what I kind of came up with at the end of college was you'll learn something, but you will not learn what you came to learn, if that makes sense. Yeah, well, and the problem is the person who taught a lot of the courses hadn't been in the industry for a long time, and that created the issue of, hey, he knows what he's talking about back in 2007. And that became an issue because I had conversations with the course the person who did the coursework and all of that, and he told me he's never done it that way, like the way I was building an application, and that was kind of scary. Like I knew then that I was kind of like, did I really mean to do this? But I mean, I've genuinely had teachers, or professors come up to me and say, "Hey, this is a very unique solution. This is the best way I've seen anybody do it." And it's just like, I mean, that's a really good boost of confidence, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, what is everybody else doing? Yeah, that was actually with the UWP Minesweeper, where I created something that was robust enough to be indefinitely, you know, I mean, guess to an extent, indefinitely a large grid on UWP, because there was no real references to doing something like that. Actually, um, the on my YouTube channel is actually a video playlist of UWP Minesweeper, which is actually that project, which I actually do not have the code for anymore because it's on my SSD or my M.2 that's not actually detected by my computer. So, I mean, if you ever want to realize how much I hate Minesweeper, you can always just check out that video series. But UWP is one of those things that they should have never, ever taught anybody because it is a worthless piece of garbage. They probably should have spent more time learning ASP or, yeah, .NET Core, ASP, .NET, all that crap. All right, so let's see. What am I doing here? So I'm kind of taking this down to kind of make it just a normal looking house instead of this crap. I put slabs up on one of these, but that's fine. Alrighty. Don't have too much fun with that. By that I mean have fun. Let's see here. Dirt. I got 2 pieces to my name. I gotta grab more. See ya. I hope you have a good one, though. Alright, so let's see here. So let's just trim this down to make it look like a normal house, and then we'll just move factory work to the other side. Man, we've been going for about 2 hours. I didn't even realize that. Oh, Lord. Probably wrap up at about the 2 hour mark here. Kind of just want to get this torn down. We'll grab dirt in a second. Let's just get this torn down so that way we can kind of make it a slimmer building. I don't know if that's the correct term, but we're going to have to move some stuff here because this is in the way. Okay, so let's move the bed. Let's just move that right here for right now. Set our spawn. Come on, pick up the chest. There we go. We'll set that right here for right now. Nope, never mind. Right here for right now. Probably could convert this all into EMC. But for now, we should be fine. Alright, let's quickly grab some dirt here. I just tried to wrench that block on accident. Okay, so this is where I installed those slabs. Let's get rid of those. All right. So that is our like main area. And then I think what I want to do is get all these machines off the roof of this and actually get them over into that building. So that means power system and all of that stuff. But I will be doing that all on camera, I think, in the next episode, because I think we're just going to wrap up this live stream here. I genuinely did have a good time. Zorgatone, he is gone, but I genuinely enjoy chatting with people and going on little tangents. But this was kind of just, clean some things up, kind of figure out where I want to go with the base. And of course, this is not, fully final. That's definitely not final. But there is some stuff to really get looking at. And Zergatone does bring up a valid point that I will address here real quick before we head off is why don't I make my own pack? Time. Right? I'm going to restate this. Time is hard to come by nowadays. I will be working on a pack. It's just going to take time. May come out in a month, may come out in 2 months. It will probably be on 1.12. I won't say anything other than that, but it is not guaranteed. I will be playing this pack. I will be posting episodes of this pack this week, most likely Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if that changes, it might be Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's kind of what I used to do before the hiatus. But with that, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And I hope to actually do another live stream sometime in the future, right? Um, Thank you. Stay awesome. I hope to see you guys around. Bye bye.